everyone, welcome to online information literacy learning. And in this tutorial I'm going to take you through phase 3 of search strategies. I've made videos for phase 1 and phase 2, and you need to check the videos in my channel and watch them so that you get ideas and clues about this video. So in this video I'm going to go through some of the crucial things that you need to know when applying the search strategy. So in this brief course outline, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go into phase 2 highlights, like what I talked about in phase 2, and we're going to now go into phrase searching, which will be a phase 3 thing. So we shall be discussing it here right away. I shall be discussing about filters and limits as well. So we shall also be saying how to search based on phase 2. Therefore, let us go to phase 2 highlights. In phase 2 we talked about the use of Boolean operators, and these Boolean operators include the and, the or, and the not, in such a way that if you use and in your research, it narrows your research, and if you use or, it broadens the scope of your research. But if you use not, it excludes some of the information in your research. For example, when I say gendered violence and economic impact, it retrieves only information, and that information contains both concepts. So I can even show you here in Google Scholar, and then I say gendered violence and economic impacts. It retrieves results related to gendered violence and economic impacts as well. You can see gendered violence, economic security. You can see gendered violence and the economic cost of gendered violence against women. The major concern is that it retrieves results based on only what you have specified. But when I used gendered violence and let me say or domestic violence, so if I use gendered violence or domestic violence, it will retrieve results of both sides. It retrieves results of both sides. So you can see in interfaces of domestic violence and organization, gendered violence. You can see gendered violence, domestic violence. So this is when you're using this phrase or, when using or, such a way that it retrieves both results. So you can see gendered violence or domestic protection. So in such a way that these articles all come with both gendered violence and domestic violence. So now let us use another phrase, and that is not. For not, if you're using not, it excludes the phrase that you don't want it to appear. So let me say gendered violence, not urban. If I say gendered violence, not urban communities, so it is not going to retrieve any information about the urban communities. So let me say it excludes results focus on urban communities. So I need to put this one in brackets. Okay, so it's okay. So gendered violence, urban communities, and gender-based violence. So urbanization and gendered violence. Women's fear. Now let us look at the truncation and wildcards. So in this case, we shall be looking at now the use of truncation and wildcards, like the asterisk sign or the question mark sign. So when we use such phrases, such as when using truncation, it retrieves relevant results. For example, if I use the truncation and if I use it for, let me say another thing, and I put violence, let me say violence, and I put this, and it's going to retrieve results based on violence and its relevances. So the articles that are going to come mostly majorly will contain violence and as well is it's what it's relevance, as you can see from the layout here. So let us go and look for the a wildcard, and that is, let me see if I say I want to type woman, but I put a question mark. Then I put this. What is it going to retrieve? So it will be retrieving results for both woman and women. So all the articles that will be coming, it will be based on the results of woman and women. Basically, as you can see, for women, you can see for women and other things. So that is basically it for the wild wildcard. And as we'll continue to next and we look for more of them. So let us go and look for. So this will take us now to our next step, and that will be what we are going to discuss for mostly today, that is phrase searching. So when you phrase just searching whether you're enclosing terms, you enclose terms in double quotation marks. That is what a phrase searching, in such a way that like it retrieves all searches for exact phrases. For example, a phrase searching ensures that the words appears together in the text specified. So let us see. So example, when I say this phrase for gender-based violence, and it retrieves only results the phrase appears so exactly as it is written. So we can come back here and search. So we can put, for example, we can put the word gendered violence, but in quotation marks. Gendered violence, and we quote it. Okay, I need to do this. Okay, gendered violence. Okay, and then I put in. Oh, sorry, I put the quotation mark here. So it is going to read. Okay, there's a mistake here. So it is like this, gendered violence. So when I enter this, it's going to retrieve me results containing the phrasing all together. That is it, gendered violence. As you can see, gendered violence. All the articles that we will be bringing will be containing both gendered violence. So that is the power of phrase searching in such a way that you're enclosing the words in the code. So it avoids irrelevant combinations. As you can see here, all articles that it is linking is based on gendered violence. You can see gendered violence. All the articles that it brings contain that gendered violence. So what we need to do is this. For example, this gender and violence issues. So if I put that, it will as well retrieve such violence and gender issues together. All together. So now let us be looking at shall be looking at one of the core here, and that is the filters and the limits. For filters and limits, they narrow down the results in such a way that by applying filters and limits such as publications, it can be publication date, it can be study types, it can be languages, it can be the study type, it can be geographic region. So here I can show you one such a way that if I come here, you see this now will filter the year, the scope of years. So if I say since 2025, it only retrieves results based on the current year of 2025. If I say since 2021, it's going to retrieve from the results right from 2021 up to the current year. As you can see, 2023, 2021, 2024, but it doesn't retrieve results which is not included in this year, or result which is excluded from this year. It will not retrieve such results. So filters, they help to refine your search. Let me go back to my slide and I say filters, they help to refine search to focus on relevant data. Now, for example, if I say if studying recent trends for publications from the last 5 years, like if researching GBV in specific areas, filter the geographical location, as well filter the geographical location even. So therefore this takes us to the end of this video. Thanks for watching and see you next week.